Right, we are now ready to take your questions.
So start with the CAG report on DIL, where they've said that this could potentially cost the government a loss of 1.63 lakh crore. Your comments on that, because this calculation is based on your own projected earning capacity for this project. And the second question is on the overall business environment. Has it worsened in the last 3 months, and how is it going to be going forward?
The first part. I think the first part I will take, and the second part naturally will go to Subbaram. Yeah, we too have read what's come in the papers. If we were to believe what's written there, then it's a draft report. And many times, many things change in the final report. Yes, we were asked some comments on the drafts at the draft stage, which have been offered to the ministry. We respect the institution of the CAG, and we sincerely and do believe that they are doing yeoman service in protecting the interests of the people at large. Having said that, the sensational headlines in some quarters of the media of figures which are astronomical, to say the least, I think are entirely misplaced. They are based on a calculation, you said rightly, on a figure which was given by us. That figure was a figure over 58 years. And anybody would understand that you can't do a calculation for anything based on a cumulative figure of 58 years. Even if I were to accept that logic, then by that admission, we as DIAL would end up giving to the government, to the airport authority, figures in excess of 300,000 crores. So this is entirely based on the revenue share that was done last year. So I don't think that's the right way to project a figure just in order to, dare I say, make it sensational. There were other, since you brought the subject up, there were other points in the report which said that undue favors had been granted post the bidding process. For the record, let me put it straight that nothing, absolutely nothing, has changed which was there prior to the bid, during the bidding process, or after the bid. And this stand, as you know, we got taken to a court by one of the competitors to the bidding process. The highest court of the land, the Supreme Court of India, has upheld the bidding process. So as far as we are concerned, the bid was won fair and square, and no undue favors of any sort have been granted then or even now. There's also a mention made in that same news report. Since we are not privy to the CAG report or the draft report, it would be foolhardy for us to comment any further. But however, there was a statement made there that the development fee was not part of the bidding process, and therefore that's the undue favor granted. This point too has been discussed, debated, and upheld by the Supreme Court of India. So as far as we are concerned, that matter rests, and there is no argument about it. It is in place as per the laws of the land, and the laws of the land which also concurrently run with the operations, maintenance and development agreement with the government and the airport authority. So this is our stand. It's good that you raised this question, because I'm sure it's been on everybody's mind since the day the reports hit. But it's still at the draft stage, and we don't have a copy of the report. So obviously, it's not right for us to comment.
Yeah, coming to the overall business scenario, it's becoming more and more increasingly challenging. One, the capital flows, but the capital flows depend upon what the sector has to offer to the investors. And the value creation process in the sector across different parts of the infra journey, it is becoming more and more challenging, because the environment, the domestic environment, has been changing for the adverse. It's our fiscal policies, the policy measures, general policy measures which should have been taken, which have not been taken, are causing these problems for the sector. So the energy sector, say for example today, the woes are on account of the non-availability of the fuel, both gas and to some extent coal, and also the DISCOMs problems. If these three issues are sorted out, energy sector, given the demand that we have, will be a booming business. So the airport, there have been regulatory challenges, regulatory delays, otherwise that would have been a happy journey. In the road sector, the capital availability is becoming more and more challenging because of the margins in the sector, because of various other factors, competitive scenario. And if these issues are addressed, adequate capital is available in the world which will flow. My belief is that capital will flow to the profitable opportunity like water will flow towards gravity. So once we create profitable opportunities, we will have more and more capital. And we believe this is a temporary scenario. We will have more and more policy measures, favorable policy measures as we go forward, which will boost the sector. But as of now, it's more and more challenging.
So one question on the coal sector, looking at the kind of supply uncertainties, what is the way forward? Is the situation going to ease, and what kind of impact do you see with this kind of uncertainty staying there?
My colleague Rajkumar would take it.
India has plenty of coal, ma'am. It has got to be taken out from the ground. I think Coal India is doing its best to improve the performance, productivity improvements, etc. are happening. And at the same time, as we go forward, I'm sure that we will see more private participation in coal mining, etc. So I think this is a temporary deficit situation. Over the next 1, 2, 3 years' time, situation will surely change for better. That is my strong view about the coal sector, ma'am.
So you've achieved financial closure for the DMIC project. Could you take us through the details of how do you plan to wrap it up going forward, and what is the plan for the DMIC project?
KUA?
KUA.
Arun, will you take it up?
Actually, the financial closure which has been completed this month and is in the process of acceptance by NHAI. They have signed the agreements, the financial covenants. The environment clearance for the project which is under process by NHAI, we are waiting for that, which is linked along with the forest clearance. It can come maybe in 1 month, maybe in 2 to 3 months maximum. But we have already finalized our contractors. We are in completed our preliminary activities for complying the permits and approval. And we are ready to take off as soon as the environment clearance is available for the project. And as you know, this construction period is 3 years. And the efforts are that to do it well within time, the whole project, though this being the largest project, and it has never been attempted in the country to carry out 550 kilometers in 3 years. But we are fully geared up, and we are confident enough to complete it much ahead of time.
Well, that's of course the management of GMR Infra talking about the road ahead. They clearly indicate that there are challenges that they're facing across the board. Capital availability also seems to be big of a worry for the road sector. But of course, operating income, remember, came in at 2130 crores. Numbers were well below what the street was anticipating and expecting. But nevertheless, the management talking about the outlook going ahead as well. Well, that is, of course, the GMR story. Let's do a check on the stock, whether or not there's been a bit of a recovery on that counter. It's still down about 3%, but recovered from its day's low. I just want to check on the rupee before we go back to dissecting more about these earnings in just a minute.